I call this meeting of the Schertz-Cibolo Universal City Independent School District to order. Let the record show that the quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551, and the time is now 6 p.m. Ms. Etram, can we have a roll call, please?
All board members are present except Ms. Dreisbach.
Okay, I'll let the other board members know that she is out tonight due to work obligations. At this time, could I have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Let me welcome everyone here tonight. This is a public meeting of the school board for the Schertz-Cibolo Universal City Independent School District. I know we have quite a few folks here tonight, and I assume we still have a lot of students out in the hallway. And you guys are probably not here for the public easement portion of the meeting, are you? I assume you're here for student recognition. That's the part that we like the most. And we do have quite a few things on tonight's agenda, so we'll speed through this first part and make sure those students get recognized. And I hate the fact that they've got to stay out in the hallway. We just simply don't have enough room. So I appreciate everyone for being here tonight. Just to let you know that these are your elected trustees. We're all volunteers. We deeply care about this district and do what's best for the staff and the students. And anytime that you have any feedback, pro or con, good or bad or ugly, each of us would be more than happy to visit with you and hear your concerns. And again, we're all interested in trying to make this the best district that we possibly can. At this time, we'll go ahead with the Vice President's recitation of the district mission, vision, values, and priorities. Mr. Westbrook.
Our vision: to prepare every student to be a productive citizen. Our values are leadership, character, commitment, service, and learning. Our mission statement: Schertz-Cibolo Universal City Independent School District provides a safe, secure, and challenging learning environment with the responsible use of all resources to afford opportunities for all students to realize their individual potential and to become responsible and productive members of society. Our priorities: priority number 1, high achievement for all students. Priority number 2, high performing and engaged workforce. And priority number 3, effective and efficient district and campus operations.
Thank you, Mr. Westbrook. When I have the board's recitation of the district belief statements, Mr. Crick.
We believe a safe, secure environment is paramount to learning. We believe living our core values of leadership, character, commitment, service, and learning result in the ability to set and achieve lifelong goals. And we believe quality instruction addresses the individual needs of students.
We believe all students have the capacity to learn and be successful. And we believe engaging, interactive, and authentic teaching creates empowered, active learners prepared for our changing world.
We believe a safe, secure environment is paramount to learning. Did we go out of order? We believe living our core values of leadership, character, commitment, service, and learning result in the ability to set and achieve lifelong goals.
We believe engaging, interactive, and authentic teaching creates empowered, active learners prepared for our changing world. We believe embracing technology as a relevant tool enhances learning in and beyond the classroom. And we believe in a professional learning community, PLC culture, that allows time to collaborate and share best practices in order to improve continually.
We believe good communication is critical in success. We believe lifelong learning. We believe lifelong learning enriches staff through professional development. We believe measures of our success go beyond standardized testing. And we believe public education is defined by the local community with limited state involvement.
Thank you, trustees. Before we go into the recognition items, which I know is why a lot of you are here, just forgot to mention, I want to introduce the gentleman here to my left, your right, is Dr. Gibson. He's our superintendent. And the other folks here at the front of the room, these are your administrators that are primarily in charge of different departments. I just wanted to acknowledge and recognize them as well. And also want to acknowledge Ms. Brenda Dennis, who's the city secretary for the city of Schertz, down here on the front row. And just want to introduce her to you as well. Okay. This time we'll go ahead with our recognition items. And first we have recognition of our student representatives. for the month of February 2017. Dr. Gibson.
Thank you, Mr. Inman, trustees and guests tonight. We're honored to have our representative of Clemens High School and Steele High School. First to speak tonight is Megan Frisbee. What grade again?
I'm a senior.
Senior, that's what I thought. I don't want to make you go back. So we have a senior from Clemens High School, Megan Frisbee. And Megan, we're going to let you meet Mr. Saunders at the podium and hear a few words from you. And then if you will, after you're finished, wait down there with Mr. Saunders, and we're going to take a photo of both student reps. Welcome, Megan. Thank you for being here.
Tonight I have the pleasure of introducing Megan Frisbee, the daughter of Perry and Wendy Frisbee. Megan is currently a senior at Clemens and has been a student in SCUC her entire educational career. She has been an active participant in school activities including Cibolo Creek FFA, FCCLA, NHS, and has previously been a member of the Clemens varsity tennis team. With a passion for helping others, she volunteers at the Meridian Care Center, where she coordinates social events for the patients. Megan also demonstrates great leadership skills through her support and guidance of younger students involved in the FFA by assisting them in feeding, fitting, and working their animals. Megan joined the Cibolo Creek FFA her freshman year and flourished, making it all the way to the state poultry evaluation competition her freshman and sophomore years. She has experienced success with her work in animal projects, making the sale at the county show for her sophomore, junior, and senior years. She has been elected to and previously served as the Cibolo Creek FFA treasurer and secretary, and currently serves as the chapter president. Megan has been accepted to Texas Tech University, Tarleton State University, and Texas A&M University. She has decided to attend Texas A&M University, where she hopes to get her bachelorate in chemical engineering and then her doctorate of veterinary medicine. Giggle, that's right. Without further ado, please welcome Megan Frisbee.
Good evening, Dr. Gibson, President Inman, and members of the board. My name is Megan Frisbee, and I am a senior at Samuel Clemens High School, and I am here on behalf of the Cibolo Creek FFA chapter. For the past 4 years, I have been an active member of the FFA and have competed at numerous competitions at the local, area, and state levels, as well as exhibited market turkeys and steers at the county and major shows. Currently, the Cibolo Creek FFA has over 180 active members, as well as 21 junior members, stretching across 2 high schools and numerous elementary, intermediate, and junior high schools all across our district. Every year, we successfully compete in both leadership development events, which include speaking events that allow our members to grow and gain confidence by advocating for what they believe in, and career development events that allow our members to gain hands-on experience for their future careers. Personally, I have competed on both the junior and senior quiz teams, as well as in the radio broadcasting event for my LDE competition. I have also competed in the poultry evaluation and veterinary science competition. In addition to the LDEs and CEs, members have the option to raise livestock for their supervised agricultural experiences, or SAEs. Students work hard to produce the best animals that they can by caring for them literally day and night. Having the opportunity to raise turkeys my sophomore and junior year, as well as a market steer named Chase this year, has taught me so many life lessons. Although I know I won't have these animals forever, the lessons that they have taught me will stay with me for a lifetime. In addition to the competitions and animal projects, senior members can run for chapter office to represent their chapter for a year. My freshman year, with some convincing from our amazing ag teachers, I ran for an office position. My freshman year, I received the position of treasurer, followed by secretary the next, and I was truly blessed to have received the position of president this year. As an officer, I got to travel to numerous leadership workshops, including the 3-day area leadership camp in the summer, as well as attend 3 Texas FFA state conventions. In addition to my participation in the FFA, I am also a 2-year member of NHS, former varsity tennis player, as well as an active participant and officer in FCCLA. In FCCLA, I have competed in life event planning as well as the job interview competitive event. In the life event planning competition, I placed first at state and competed at the national competition the summer of my freshman year. In addition to my extracurricular activities, I am also a very dedicated student who is ranked in the top 10% of my class. After high school, I am going to be attending Texas A&M as a chemical engineering major. Again, thank you for all of your support and hard work that you do for this district. Without your dedication, our programs would not be where they are today.
Mr. Inman. Tonight we also have Ms. Simmons from Steele to introduce Nisa Miller. I'm probably still a little bit of your thunder, Trina, but we go ahead and repeat it. But recently we celebrated Ms. Miller scoring a perfect score on her ACT, which I believe is a 36. And when I was walking in, they said she scored a 36 on her ACT, and I said, well, so did I. And I didn't know it was all 3 times I took added together equal 36. I thought that should count, and they said, no, she got it on one test one day. So we're here tonight to learn a little bit about Nisa Miller, and welcome. Glad you're here.
Good evening, Dr. Gibson, President Inman, and members of the board. I'd like to introduce to you Nisa Miller. She is the daughter of James and Rebecca Miller, and her father is here tonight. She is this month's student rep, and she's representing the DT program. I'd like to introduce to you also the DT coordinator, Ms. Susan Shires. As you already can tell, Nisa Miller is a remarkable young lady with many skills and talents. As a member of the Still Gifted and Talented program, she has been invaluable to Mrs. Shires, the coordinator, and she consistently participates in all the activities, symposiums, field trips, and meetings. She has been wonderful working with the younger DT students. She has helped to recognize and thank members of Still's custodial staff at Christmas. She has helped move and organize DT materials, and she is always ready with the ideas for the DT meetings and other activities. She is the go-to student for DT. The Independent Study, which was formerly known as the Distinguished Diploma Independent Study course, originated at Still as a DT course, and Nisa was quick to become part of this amazing opportunity when she was able to. In her first year, Nisa completed a book she had been working on and off since 8th grade. It has been her baby, and her goal to see that book completed and published. That book, At the End Edge, is now available on Amazon Kindle. You all can read it if you want. This year, her second in the course has found her working on book number 2, writing query letters to publishers, writing the script for a video version of part of the first book, finding actors to play the characters in the video, and seeking minimal funding for the making of the mini movie. She is the treasurer and secretary of orchestra because of her talent and because she is well suited for the role and responsibilities the office requires. She's always organized, thorough, and accurate in all her notes and work. In addition to maintaining amazing grades in all of her advanced courses, being a member of the orchestra and participating in GT activities, Nisa manages to find time to crochet. She has crocheted likeness of some of her characters from her novels, scarves, hats, and small stuffed animals, and crocheting helps her to relax and think and create all at the same time. Nisa was recently recognized for an amazing achievement, scoring a perfect 36 on her ACT. This is the highest score possible and is quite a rare thing. It is her diligence, love of learning, and personal goals that help her attain such a feat. Nisa was also accepted to MIT, another goal met, and will be studying engineering. As Nisa says, her goal is to conquer global warming, to inspire people towards a greener, more peaceful future, and to find inner peace with a ball of yarn in her lap or a pen in her hand.
Dr. Gibson, President Inman, and members of the board. I moved back to Texas 6 summers ago, and all my ideas fit in a box. The box could fit in my lap. Inside it was, make good grades, get a bachelor's in chemistry, and make decent money. Mrs. Wetz, GT Adobe, was the first person to tell me she liked my writing, but write science fiction did not fit in my box. I kept it around like a bad habit, not expecting to go anywhere with it. Mrs. Wetz encouraged me to participate in academic UIL, and in 8th grade I won first place in science. At Steele, I was introduced to Life Outside Grade School. The symposiums I went to for DT showed me colleges like UTSA, University of the Incarnate Word, and Texas State
I learned hands-on about things like the environment and computers. Mrs. Shire, GTA Steele, was the first person to encourage me to share my writing. And as my scope of what I can accomplish expanded, and as I tried more new things, I looked down at the box in my lap and tried to cram the lid shut. In GT, I met so many different people, adults and peers, that made me feel real. The entrapments of the academic robot rested away. If it wasn't for the GT programs I participated in since kindergarten, I never would have come to like chemistry or even writing. And the last 6 years have formed me the most. I lost my bounds, limits, the box, I lost it. I'm still finding so many new things a box could never contain.
So Megan and sponsors and principals, y'all come on up. Please come on up. Now let's get a picture right up here. Sabrina, let's come on up. Sponsors.
Congratulations, students and families. Next up, we also have recognition of student achievements. Ms. Chang.
Good evening, President Inman, Dr. Gibson, and members of our board. Tonight we're here to recognize some of our SCUC students who have achieved outstanding academic distinction. We applaud their efforts to shine in these areas and bring excellence to our district. Parents, students, and friends, thank you for your support and for joining us tonight for this chance to recognize academic excellence. So to kick us off tonight, we're recognizing a lot of our CTE students and their accomplishments. So starting off with DECA. DECA prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs, I always have trouble with that word, for various careers through competitive events, professional development, and leadership conferences in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. The following students were selected to compete in the upcoming state competition in their respective categories in San Antonio, Texas on February 24th. From Clemens High School, can all start from Garrett Anders, Isabella Armstrong, Carter Monique Castro, Lauren Childs, Vincent Ciaravino, Devin Coburn, Nicole Davis, Miriam Deal, Mitchell Faber, David Flatman, Tariq Gaines, Mitchell Hero, Abigail Hines, Bryce Larson, Kyle Lewis, Dylan Makar, Felix Martinez, Hannah McNeil, Jordan Mendoza, Eric Nunez, John Orona, Holly Rappland, Joshua Salinas. And we'll keep calling names, you can all come up here and get our Sia Paulsen, Leon Serrano Santiago, Mark Soko, Logan Teskey, Jay Turner, Amanda Tesco, Jonathan Boos, and Bailey Webster. Congratulations to these students from Clemens High School in Denver. Congratulations. Our DECA students from Steele High School are Zachary Bailey, Ashley Dooley, William Courtney, Derek Cox, Ty Craighead, Jacob Frenson, Patrick Gruber, Alexander Heath, Jason Holt, Kevon Kang, Natalie Mahaffey, Andrew Moraes, Courtney Murray, Lindsay Novikov, Jarrett Renteria, Yasmin Saeed, Aiden Sands, Brian Showman, Kenneth Seiler, Skylar Sloan Vasquez, Rachel Smith, Craig Thomas, Hannah Valentine, Tamara Wright, and Michael Yon. Congratulations. We might need to make 2 lines of you. Let's give these students a round of applause. Congratulations and good luck in state. Our next group of students are from Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, or FCCLA. It's a national career and technical student organization that provides personal growth, leadership, and career preparation opportunities for students in family and consumer sciences education. The following students were selected to compete in the upcoming state competition in their respective categories in Dallas, April 6th through the 8th. From Clemens High School, Michaela Babel, Jasmine Brewer, Jada Culpepper, Joanna Parkes, Keely Herzfeld, Elijah Kush, Cameron Landry, Almira Ludicky, Cameron Martinez, Haley Ritchie, Alyssa Salcedo, and Xander Vela. Squish together in the middle. Congratulations. You can slide over to the middle for your picture. Hard to know where to look, huh? Just look in the middle here. Congratulations, a good way to build a seat. Representing Steele High School for FCCLA in April at the state competition are Shakria Al-Ariadi. Sorry, your name that's right. McKinley Calhoun, Lillian Carson, Clayton Cox, Ty Craighead, Wyatt Folsom, Julia Gutierrez, Samantha Huffman, Virginia Hunter, Kaylee Early, Michaela McGee, Hannah Miller, Kaylin Oliveira, Kaylee Roberts, Philip White, and Dalton Liddy. Congratulations, and you can when we get to the middle, we'll take your pictures. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations. The others are all at another competition.
Congratulations, good job.
Congratulations. Our next group are our students from HOSA, which stands for Health Occupation Students or Student Association. It's an international student organization that promotes career opportunities in the healthcare industry. The following students competed in various categories and are qualifiers in the upcoming state competition in Corpus Christi, March 31st to April 2nd. Going to state from Clemens High School is Lincoln Penalosa, Dahlia Harris, Garrett Chambers, Martin Lopez, Nicholas Buhlner, Jordan Biesenbach, Corinne Bird, Yosef Cook, Kyla Hadaway, Mackenzie Cadwell, Riley Rogers, Sarah Bird, and Hannah Borland. Congratulations. Let's give these students a round of applause. Representing Steele High School COSA at state will be Anna Dandy, Taylor Baker, Jacob Frenson, Kylie Gibson, Brandon Kim, Vanessa Rodriguez, Ashley Civic, Emily Stewart, and Mona Valentine. Congratulations to these knights who will be representing COSA at state. Congratulations. The Law, Public Safety, Corrections, and Security, or LPSCS Career Cluster, allows students to prepare for careers in legal, law enforcement, security and protective services, emergency and fire management, and correction services. The following students were selected to compete in the upcoming Skills USA state competition in their respective categories in Corpus Christi, May 6th through the 9th. Representing Steele High School are Christopher Armstrong, Jesselyn Biggs, Kaylin DeAmcho, Matthew Avila, Alec Dawson, Anthony Garrett, James Harris, Brenton Myers, Kaylee Wynn, Darcy Reiser, Robert Swatzenberg, and Crystal Whitty. Congratulations and good luck at state. Congratulations. but certainly not least to be recognized tonight are our Skills USA students. Skills USA is a partnership of students, teachers, and industry working together to ensure America has a skilled workforce. They provide educational programs, events, and competitions that support career technical education, such as the Architecture and Construction Career Cluster. The following students were selected to compete in the upcoming Skills USA state competition in their respective categories in Corpus Christi, also May 6th through the 9th. From Steele High School, representing us will be Jaron Carroll, Joshua Contreras, Heather Cortinas, Claudia Fernandez Cotu, Jackson Landstunner, Alanis Ortiz, London Valerie, and Gabriel Zander. Hold your ribbons and medals up when you got your window. Congratulations. And students and families, I sincerely apologize for any names I butchered. I'm very sorry. That concludes our recognition portion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jay. We did just let the audience know we do have a couple more pretty simple items here, and then we'll take about a 5 or 10 minute break if you want to leave at that point as well. At this time we have public comments, and we have 2 that were submitted prior to the beginning of the board meeting. Mr. Don Oswald and Ms. Odessa Bingham. And Mr. Oswald, if you want to come on up, and I'm going to read off the policy that we have with respect to public comments, just so that we're all on the same level playing field. In order to provide consistency and fairness to all individuals, public comments will be heard in accordance with Board Policy BED Local and procedures outlined in Administrative Regulation BED, and these are contained on the sheet that you filled out previously. Comments should be limited to topics such as policies, curriculum, and facilities. Any direct criticism of a specific employee will not be heard during public comments and should be considered separately as provided in board policy. In this context, individuals are cautioned to not identify any employee by name or by any combination of words or descriptions which could identify the employee to another individual. Public comments will be limited to individuals who signed up to participate in the public comment portion of the meeting before the board meeting was called to order, so I do have these 2 individuals that complied with that. An individual who signed up to participate in the public comment portion of the meeting may not relinquish their time to another individual. No public comment shall exceed 5 minutes. To ensure compliance with time limitations, a yellow card will be held up by the board secretary and doing so at the 4 minute mark, and a red card will be held up at 5 minutes. Do need to say that if you have an issue that you would like to discuss with an administrative staff member, please complete the form located on the back table and place it in the wooden box. Your concerns and contact information will be forwarded to the appropriate staff member. So with all that being said, Mr. Oswald, you have 5 minutes and appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir. My name is Donald Oswald. I've been an employee here for about 2.5 years in transportation department. I was terminated just on Friday. My only purpose in being here is to meet you, and I'm not angry, I'm not a disgruntled employee. I'm fine with it. I'm going to file a grievance. Haven't put in the paperwork yet, but eventually I guess I'll be talking to y'all, and I just want to let you know I'm okay with it. There's no disgruntled feelings at all. I just want to make my presence known. You're going to hear my name, I'm sure, a few times. That's all I really wanted to do. introduce myself and meet y'all. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just to let you know, if you haven't been told, you may have it, we do have a formal grievance process, and you're more than welcome to avail yourself of that process.
Yes, sir. I'm aware, and I will file.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir. You bet. Next up, we have Odessa Bingham. Ms. Bingham?
How close I'm supposed to get. Okay, this sounds about right. My name is Odessa Bingham, and I am a senior at Steele High School. I just kind of want to debrief the community and kind of let them know. Do any of y'all know what the Leukemia Lymphoma Society is? No? Maybe, possibly? Okay. It is a blood cancer organization funded by, it's a nonprofit organization, and it is funded through, obviously funding and stuff like that. It's a blood cancer organization raising money to pay for treatments that people can't afford and to find new treatments for blood cancer. This is the first year the Leukemia Lymphoma Society has done Student of the Year, and I'm one of the 13 kids in San Antonio that was nominated. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm very nervous right now. I've not done public speaking pretty much ever.
Just to let you know, you're being recorded as well.
Anyways, I was nominated by a San Antonio businessman who is actually my mom's boss. He is the CEO of a child care home hospice. This organization has been in my family for a long time. My grandma has done something they call Teen in Training, which is like they raise money when they do triathlons, marathons, and stuff like that. So basically what we're supposed to do is we have 7 weeks. It started January 19th and it goes till March 10th. We're raising as much money as possible, and I just kind of want to let the community know. So far, we have raised over $12,000, and as I am the candidate, I have many of the DECA students that you just recognized on my campaign team. They have done so much, and I just appreciate every single one of them. Okay. I've tried to get the school involved, and they are helping me out. They're all very supportive of me. I can't explain to you how difficult this kind of is. I've never really been one for fundraising. My only fundraising experience in the past is for a mission trip to Haiti last year, which I'm doing again this year, kind of at the same time. But our goal is to raise $50,000, and so what I get if I get $50,000 is a research grant. I get to name a research grant. My reason for doing this and accepting this nomination is because of a family friend. He was my grandpa's best friend. His name is Jack Lanham. He was a nurse practitioner all over San Antonio. He fought leukemia for years. First, it came to leukemia, and then went to remission, so we were all so happy about that. Then came back, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he got a stem cell transplant. Came back from that. That was, you would not believe the man Jack was. So that just warmed everyone's heart. And then after his stem cell transplant, he died of leukemia on Independence Day of 2014. I can't tell you how horrible it was to see the loss around me just from that one man. He saved so many lives, and I'm doing this for him, and I'm doing this for his family. His wife Diana is they were like a second pair of grandparents to me. We actually had an event up at the Matangas January 28th, and we raised over $1,500 in 3 hours. So, and that was all help to members of this community, and I just wanted to thank members of the community. I know I'm probably not even here, but I wanted to let everybody know that we're actually having a grand finale event. If y'all don't know, y'all probably know, it's a pretty popular place, but the Cibolo Old Man Ice House, I'm pretty sure y'all hang out there. It's actually, I have the flyer information with me, but I wanted to invite everyone. Funny joke. There's an event March 4th from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. There's a $10 cover to get in, and students who attend the high school, they bring their ID for $5. Oh, okay. We're going to be having a 50-50 raffle there. We may have George Gervin, because we were going to have Tommy Kramer, but unfortunately it's his birthday, so he couldn't come. But possibly George Gervin. We're going to be giving away stuff like Spurs box tickets. We have a George Strait signed guitar that we are auctioning off. The winner will actually be announced a week later. We're going to be raffling for gift cards, like there's a $50 gift card to Paisano, so I don't know, it's pretty awesome if you've never been there. And there's going to be face painting for kids, there's going to be live music there, and yeah, we'll kind of put this all together. All my friends helped me. This is all done by seniors and one junior. Right there, yeah. So I just wanted to go ahead and let y'all know and ask for y'all support. If y'all would like to know more about it, we have a website. It's students.enscancer.com. That pretty much goes through everything. And then if you wanted to know more information about LLS, you can just go to lls.org. Finished. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Odessa. You did a good job.
Thank you.
What were the dates on that fundraiser?
Oh, wait, like when it ends?
No, the one.
It's March 4th.
So, because I'm there right now, by the way. I didn't know if y'all knew that or not.
Oh, okay.
Literally, I'm there right now. Well, go ahead. When was the date?
Do you want me to bring you a flyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, do we have any correspondence of the board we need to discuss? Seeing none. Report on board advocacy. At this time, we just kind of go down the row here, and if any trustee has anything he or she would like to share with the board about what they've done over the past month or anything along those lines, now would be the time to do it. And we'll start with Mr. Carew. Anything interesting?
I had coffee with the chamber about 2 weeks ago. Met some local business owners, that was good. And also had breakfast at the Marion Dolphin Learning Center. That was a nice, that's a nice setup. Thank you very much.
I continued to do my Green Valley Elementary watchdog on Tuesday, and attended a board meeting for Education Foundation, which I'm the board member there, and want to remind everybody we do have our annual golf tournament coming up on March 24th. Board members, if you would like to participate, you're certainly welcome to do that. The folks that are out there buying teams and whatnot, we're more than happy to have you on one of the teams. And also was fortunate to be able to go to Austin and to the Texas Association of School Administrators Conference and with Dr. Gibson and some of the other central office folks present good governance for the great people there at the Texas Association of School Administrators. And we always start the presentation by asking, if any of them have ever done a good governance survey, and school board members, by the way, and the answer most of them is no. You're not very many people do that. No. We do every year. We've been doing it for 5 or 6 years now. Anyway, so that was interesting. I was also that was kind of January, and I was also able to attend the 18+ program for the students at Marion Dolphin Learning Center, the brunch that they held. It's a wonderful program, great program for these kids, and well, they're young adults, they're not kids, but I'm so happy that we have that program for them. It serves a much needed group of folks that need to have something, they need something, so I appreciate us doing that. And it's, the Marion Dolphin Learning Center is turning out great. It's a very nice place. There's a lot of work on it. Looks good. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Perkins.
The Communities and Schools Campus Chat at Byron Steele High School was very well received. We had a packed house in there, and it's always a guessing game what we're going to hear from those students, and it was fantastic and alarming at the same time. We're serving communities and schools is serving a very valid purpose, and it was comforting to hear the value they got from that. Also attended the Tri-County Chamber Luncheon this week and represented the school board. I got to have brunch with David and Robert at the 18+ Learning Center at Marion Dolphin. I agree that is a fantastic setup and a true benefit. And I got to watch most of this Steele girls basketball playoff game this week, and at one point it was such a demonstrative win that I had seen enough. I'll watch more later.
Just real quickly, last month I got to go to the Advocacy Institute in Washington, D.C., sponsored by the National School Board Association. It happened to be about a week after the inauguration. So I guess all the, shouldn't call them crazy people, because all sides are crazy to some extent, but the town was definitely kind of cleared out quite a bit, and I got to see a few remnants of, I guess, the week before. Main things we discussed, just, Betsy DeVos, I believe her name, for Secretary of Education, that was a big topic that was discussed there at the session. Marla Alexander, Senator, he's the chairman of Senate Education Committee, came and spoke to us, and for the most part, I think at the federal level, not a whole lot's going to take place with respect to education this go around. They've had some fairly large legislation last time, so despite all the chatter about Secretary of Education, they just didn't think there would be any legislation coming through as far as that goes. So it's a great opportunity. It's about 500 trustees from all across the state, about 60 to 70 from Texas, and I would encourage anyone who hasn't been before to that to maybe think about going to that in the future years. It's something that happens every year in January, February time. Okay. All right. Anything else on that? All right. At this time, it's now 6:45. Let's take a 15-minute recess. We'll readjourn at 7 p.m. and give everyone a chance to head home if you want to do that. And student representatives, appreciate you being here tonight. There's no obligation to stay here until midnight, unless you want to. Not telling you you have to leave, but if you guys want to go ahead and check out, now would be a good time to do so. We certainly appreciate you being here tonight. Good luck with everything. We're recessed till 7 p.m. Board discussions. Report on the 2014-2018 strategic plan report prior to 3. Dr. Gibson.
Thank you, President Inman and trustees. At your places, we just distributed the update to our annual action plan for our, what we like to refer to as dashboard. I'm not really going to go into that. I'm just giving that to you tonight to take a peek at. We're going to run through priority 2 and priority 3 for our monthly report, and then I may wrap it up with some of the information off of our annual action plan. I'll turn it over to Ms. Camp.
Good evening. As we work on priority 2, there's 4 critical questions we continue to ask ourselves. What does our staff need in order to do their job? How will we listen and learn? How will we know staff members are fully on board? And how do we continuously improve? This is just a review of the data on a power indicator from last spring of 2016, showing that for workforce satisfaction, we were at 70%, which is a gaining trend line over the past 3 years. The benchmark schools are those nationwide schools that take the same survey, and the top 20 is the large employers in the San Antonio area. So we are gearing up to take the survey again this spring and after spring break, first part of April. This year we pulled those top areas of strength from the data so we can take a look and celebrate the things that we're doing very well in, and it shows the 3-year trend data. And then we also pulled the areas to address. 10 of those are a lot to address at one time, so we pulled the top 5. And this year we've really worked on what are we going to do to up benefits, pay is fair, negativity at work, senior managers understanding what is happening in SCUC, and then I've not considered searching for a better job in the past month. So what we have done is we've created actions around those. We're implementing senior leader high-level rounding protocol, which you all have been involved in this year. We're mapping the opportunities for employees to participate in professional development, defining our path for leadership and expand opportunities for leadership across the organization. That's through our Inspired Leaders Academy, our APPLCs, and we actually have, starting tomorrow, an Operations Academy going on. So we're including all staff in that leadership. We're exploring the alternative benefit packages for the future, and I have kind of a timeline of what we're looking on there. And then we're making sure that we have our professional evaluations for every employee. We did that with T-TEST and T-PES this year, and we're going to do that for every employee group. And then from this year, from the first round of the high-level rounding in the fall, we pulled the themes from that, and we're communicating these out to our staff, and we are now gearing up for the spring to do another round of the high-level rounding out on the campuses and in the departments. So here's some of the themes that were pulled from that. And then some others. Like I said, we're sharing these out with our out to principals and to campuses and departments now. And then through the communication through staff advisory, because some of those 5 areas, I think a lot of that was about how well we're communicating out to our staff, some things that we are doing for them. So we're sharing out in the staff advisories, those top areas of strength and those areas that we're addressing. We're sharing salary comparisons. In the fall, we share the teacher salary comparison, and we're working on comparisons for all employee groups. Sharing the plan of action for benefits, and we actually decided to re-recruit our own staff through what we offer as benefits to being in Sherwood-Cibolo. So this is the teacher chart that we shared out in the fall, and we actually now are this spring going out and sharing out other positions such as secretaries, paras, bus drivers, the different categories across the district and how our pay is compared to the others. And then we have created a plan of action for benefits. This year we're reviewing all of our supplemental products, your dental, your vision, your disability, those products, making sure that we're offering the best. We're also going to have a new online enrollment platform this year that's a little more customer friendly, and we're working on our benefits and information packets to make sure that those really give the information they need. And then we need to make a decision towards the end of this spring of whether we really want to go self-insured or not. If we make the decision to do so, then we need to work on that for next year to implement for the following year. So we've created this and we're sharing this out with our staff so that they understand what we're doing in the area of benefits. This is our flyer that we created to re-recruit our current staff, and this actually came from us going out and recruiting new employees to the district, and we realized, what about our own staff, and do they realize all the things that we have to offer and why it would be good to stay in Sherwood-Cibolo. So we're sharing this out with staff members through staff advisory as well. And then we also collected information from each of the groups when we went to campuses and departments for staff advisory. So here are some of the things. We did it through a SWOT. So here are the strengths that come out. I think a lot of that has to do with they like the communication, us trying to get out and be visible, and then that feedback that they can provide back to us. Weaknesses, benefits came up, I think, in every area: strength, weakness, opportunity, and a threat. And then just looking at support for staff and that competitive pay chart which we're sharing. Opportunities, they know that we're looking at being self-insured and whether that would be a better opportunity for us. Again, sharing those pay comparisons, us continuing to get out and make sure that we're visible to our staff members. And then just the threats here, again, benefits package, just continuing to work on that. And something we're very proud of is last year our teacher turnover rate came in at 6.9%, so we have decreased every year, and that's in comparison to the state. You'll see at 16.5%. Here's our comparison districts around us and their teacher turnover rate compared to ours, so we're very proud of that. And then our statewide comparison groups for teacher turnover. And we have been named the top workplace 3 years and counting.
No pressure. I'll take over and let it be ready in a few minutes, since I can't from here. And so we're going to talk about Power Indicator 3.3, and just a real quick update. And I mentioned this before, but the TASB Engage service is no longer available. They closed that shop, if you will. At first I think we were a little bit concerned about that and even frustrated, but then it may have been a good time because we had been on a climb of 80%, 85%, 90%, 93% satisfaction. So when you start getting in the 93% range, you're almost topping it up, similar to you guys changing your good governance inventory to a new inventory once you topped out. And so this next year, we'll switch then, we'll switch to Studer Education is going to help us with the parent satisfaction. So we have new questions. We'll make sure that it contains the requirements. Those are the questions, and again, that's really hard to read, but this will be posted online, and if you want to drill into those, and we'll just pull this sheet out. If we could just put it in a board update, just to let you guys look at it. You can see down there, I am satisfied, I'm satisfied, I'm satisfied with number 18 through whatever. Those are those required questions from HB5. And then the other ones are ones that that Studer Education that's working with senior leaders on several things related to staff and community satisfaction. These are questions that they utilize nationwide. So one of the benefits from working with Studer that we couldn't get from TASB Engaged is benchmarking against, best organizations in the country that utilize this survey. We'll be able to benchmark these questions. We also have our high school, middle school, and elementary school surveys ready to go this spring. So we've already tested the high school survey with our Buffalo Herd and Knights of the Round Table. Did I get that right? We tested it out with them and got a quick, leading indicator, if you want to call it that, from them, and let them actually take the survey. And we're waiting for those results. We'll give those to all juniors and seniors later. And then we're trying to decide right now the best methodology for delivering the middle school survey and then the elementary school survey. So we're working with those principals on getting that ready. So the goal states 90% will respond to with overall satisfaction. To say the truth, we don't know where these will come in. We have no predictive way to know. I guess we will once we get that survey back from those Steele and Clemens students. But we have these are brand new questions, and this is the first year we're using it. So this kind of becomes a benchmark here. I guess one of the reasons I bring that up is that we may come back and it may say 73, and everybody may be worried that may be, that may be where it goes. These are different questions, and we're just going to have to see where it goes. We're okay with wherever the results come. We'll just continuously improve. So the document, in conclusion, the document that we distributed, the annual action plan, what you'll notice now is down at the bottom under the process monitoring, and then on the back on the strategic actions, what you'll start seeing is a lot of the things that we're presenting here in these monthly reports. You'll start seeing those embedded in this annual action plan, if that makes sense. We have not rated the back page yet, the strategic actions, but I think we now have a draft of how we are going to rate it. And I just wanted you all to see a draft of that. But once we go through this a cycle or two, we'll start putting this up on the website in addition to all of our other reports. I just wanted y'all to kind of see how we've taken that down to it's one page front and back, but we've scorecarded it, I guess, on that front and back. That's priority 2 and priority 3.
Thanks, Dr. Gibson. Any questions or comments, trustees?
Great, I got a question. The survey, that's the survey that when Dr. Goldhorn was here said, when they talked about that, is this the community survey where it's going to be a certain percentage of the funding goes to that? You know what the question I'm asking?
So we're waiting to make sure that whatever that rating in our A through F becomes, that it lines up with.
Okay,
so
okay, all right.
But that's part of our concern right now, is when we're already doing things like this, why would we then digress to other things that now the state's saying that you should do, and we've been doing it for a long time.
Okay. And then my second question is that on your slide here, it says the parent, community, and student surveys. So I no longer have a child in the district.
Right.
How are we getting that out to the rest of the community that we're really interested in what their viewpoint is? I mean, I know a lot of those things, questions says, I'm satisfied with my child,
right.
Stuff.
So one of the things that's coming here, that's a great point. As we go into 17, 18, one of the things that I'm asking the student to do, and they don't currently have this, but I think they'll manage it for us, is to bifurcate the parent and community, where it's not one, that's 2 surveys.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Two questions. On one of the slides, and I might have missed it, it had the acronym SES, and I didn't see, what does that stand for?
It's the low socioeconomic status of the student.
I'm sorry, social.
Yeah.
And then the other, just to clarify, on the turnover ratio, I think it was 6.9. That also includes people who were just moving away for military transfers and everything, so
Yes,
teachers
sir.
actually leaving to go somewhere else is even probably lower
It
than that.
includes anybody that starts one year, doesn't come back the next year for retirements, they move,
Right.
they leave us for whatever reason.
So 6.9 is actually probably a lot lower of people just leaving to go somewhere else. Is that accurate?
I think it's a good point to bring up. We'll see where that goes, but that seems to me almost down to what you're talking about.
Right.
So just the normal.
So if you take out retirements, people that are, I'm transferring because I have to, because of a spouse transferring, people actually leaving the district, it's probably a lot lower, which is even a better number.
Correct.
We may plateau at this 6 point something, I guess is what I'm saying. As we move forward, And I hope we can hold
And
it.
if you have a year of a lot of retirements, then it may go up as well.
Right.
So I do try to informally track that and why people are leaving the district.
I appreciate the fact that you see though, that just, with 2,000 employees, just a normal day-to-day, you're gonna have folks that leave. But it's pretty doggone low these days.
Yeah, one thing I just want to add, I think it's great that we're getting all this recognition. I think best workforces in San Antonio area is a great thing. I mean, the low turnover, speaks for itself, large measure, and Mr. Cruz just said, we don't have a huge percentage of teachers leaving us to go somewhere else. In fact, they may change careers as well, right? And there may be some part of that percentage that's just getting out of the education field altogether. One thing I just really want to caution against is to focus too much on our own good press, I call it, and forget the fact that, we need to always be continuously improving. When it comes to these satisfaction surveys, I think employees, whether it's a paycheck or whatever, they ultimately want to feel like they're valued, and not just their compensation, but also just their opinions matter, their input matters, whether that's principals, staff members, teachers, or what have you. So I just want to make sure that we do whatever we have to do to send a signal that all of our employees are important, their opinions are important, and while we have goals we need to try to reach, that we value our employees enough to know, or let them know that they're a part of this as well. Okay, so I think that's going to go a long way towards them actually being self-motivated to help achieve these goals instead of us just telling them they have to meet the goals. So.
Yeah, one of the, all of this is based on the continuous improvement of performance excellence model that, eventually we'll go back to Edward Deming and total quality management. And one of the 7 deadly diseases of organizations that he cited back in the 1960s is only looking at formal data. And I think that may be what you're saying, that if you only look at formal data, meaning, and you aren't just listening and walking around, talking, trying to get the informal read as well as the formal read, then you won't be successful because you won't build enough trust in the organization to improve.
Yeah, I think it's just, important to do the same thing. We kind of hide behind an award to some extent that, trust me, I get criticism all the time about what we do as a board, how this district's being operated. And, we can't just tell somebody, look, we got this award or that award, we've got a low turnover ratio. But to actually hear what they're telling us and make constructive changes if necessary. But I just want to make sure, again, whether it's the board to the superintendent, to the staff to the principals to the teachers, just that we send out a strong signal that everybody in this district is highly valued and has a role to play, and we're ultimately all in this together. So just want to make sure we have that culture. And I think you guys are doing a good job. The numbers speak for themselves, but just let us not forget that even though we're getting some pretty good awards here, that there's, we should always be striving to do better and to hear what our people are telling us. And so in that case, so just like benefits, for example. Every year we talk about this, we get dinged on that, and we're one of the higher paying districts, we've got some of the better benefits, but what are the folks telling us they would like to see us do differently to increase that number?
Pay for all their health insurance.
Within reason. I think we got a fairly intelligent staff, so they know we can't just pay everybody $100,000 a year or whatever. But just, within reason, what are they letting us know that they would like for us to do to get that number up a little bit more?
Pay for more of their health insurance.
Okay. Then do they have an idea of where that money comes from?
No.
Okay.
Some do, some don't.
Yeah, so that's, that's one of those kind of things. We're just, within reason, I know we can't do everything, but just make sure that's the culture that we're creating.
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Anything further? All right, thanks, Linda, appreciate it. All right, next item, report update on preparation for the 85th legislative session.
Yeah, that's kind of a broad topic to prepare for the 85th legislative session. So we'll just prepare for our visit next Tuesday. We are several trustees, so everybody knows we're going next Tuesday morning. That's when we're meeting on Thursday night instead of Tuesday night to hear a TASB presentation, and then one that's over at the Capitol where I think we have 4 or 5 meetings scheduled. So we'd like trustees to be able to do all that. This year, I'm proud to state that for the first time, I believe ever, we have 5 or 6 teachers that are meeting us at the Capitol. I'll be coordinating that towards the end, probably about when lunch time being served at the Tazewell Conference. I'll be exiting and going to meet the teachers. So I guess the vision that I have in my mind is one or two board members and 2 or 3 of those teachers going in to run through these items. And those teachers are actually coming in and they've trained 2 or 3 times with me. And I say trained, I mean, they're just trying to really get engaged and really learn a lot about these issues that we're carrying forward. So I think it'd be kind of cool. They're going to be in their I support public schools red shirts that you may have seen floating around on Twitter. They'll have those on and probably want you to buy one from them.
And I can follow this as closely as I should, but do we actually have scheduled appointments with Representative Temple and
Yes.
Senator Campbell's office?
Yes.
It may not be them individually, but.
I know you have one with Temple.
No, I can tell you this. Yesterday, the day before, Priscilla was successful with getting Tomas Uresti scheduled, Carlos Uresti's aide, and Donna Campbell's aide, and I believe Representative Gutierrez himself, and then Campbell, of course, scheduled immediately.
All right.
So I think we have 5 lined up. We'll be pretty busy moving from one place to another.
We have that, I mean, we have what, 5 trustees going?
Yeah, we may have to divide.
If we can somehow send out that schedule, just so we all know the planning purpose.
Absolutely. We're running a little short on staff right now due to flu, but tomorrow morning we will try to find them.
All right, we have 5 trustees, I believe, going. Is that correct?
I think that's right.
Myself, Mr. Westbrook, Mr. Cubico, Mr. Perkins, Mr. Strasbeck. And I think they said the registration was cut off, but I'm sure if anyone else wants to go to visit with the legislators, I can't imagine that'd be a problem.
No,
That's up, I think it's
correct.
full.
I will not be going. I was in Austin on January 31st, and I cannot go back again this soon.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Mr. Crew, any thoughts on possibly going? Okay. We don't know anything about that, so, all right. Anything else on this topic? Everybody? Okay.
Look forward to next Tuesday, and I think we'll set a time certain to meet up here and get in a Suburban and take off on Tuesday morning.
All right. Next item, discussion review of initial estimated budget projections, budget development process. Dr. Gibson.
Okay, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Miller.
Thank you, Dr. Gibson, President and members of the board. We've been talking about, the legislative session is in full force. There are lots of unknowns. Right now we're monitoring. It does look like in the formulas right now that the Austin yield for the golden pennies are 4 cents over the dollar. Will increase from 77 per weighted adjusted daily attendance from $77 to $99, so that would give us $22 per those pennies, which translates to about 1.7 million. There is talk of, as we've seen property values increase all over the state, there's been an excess in the budget that has not been reallocated back to the school districts. I think, is it, Dr. Gibson, is it the Senate bill or the House bill that is saying that would be redistributed?
Yeah, the House is trying, well, let me rephrase it. The House budget redistributes that 1.5 billion back to schools. The
That's right.
Senate bill does not.
So the House version would.
We
that
like
would
the
be-
House version, we do not like the
Yes,
Senate.
that would be like right under $1 million that we would get. I mean, plus the 1.7, that would be a good thing. There's discussion in the legislature that we could possibly go after the 2 extra gold pennies to go to $1.06 without going to the voters. That would be great because we would get all $99 per WADA, and I mean, that's $3.7 million. So that would be a wonderful gift if we were able to get that. But in support of Dr. Gibson's initiatives coming up in 17-18, we are exploring every aspect of a TRE and what we would be able to get with 2 pennies, 3 pennies, 4 pennies, all the way up to $1.17. And we're looking at all of our initiatives and see where we would prioritize and what the need would be for that. So looking on page 3, we have
Hold on just a second.
Huh?
That's page 3 of the memo. What
Of the
page-
memo, the budget
What page is
program.
that in the board book?
23.
23? Yeah, 23, thank you.
On page 23, For the past few years, we've had a low projection for enrollment, a mid projection, and a high projection. And I believe that we've been at the mid projection. We have decided to go with a lower projection this year, just simply because we are still about 200 students short of what we were projected. So if you'll look on that little chart that says student enrollment projections for 16-17 budget planning, we planned for 15,681 students, but our actual enrollment on the snapshot date was 15,460. So we're going to base our budget on 15,804 students for next year. And that's the first time we've used the low scenario, so we're doing all kinds of things right now to see what can happen. Our demographer, and Wayne can echo this, our demographer has said it's very easy to predict, new homes and students coming into those new homes. What's going to get more difficult in this district to predict is our existing homes, and if people are staying after their children go through, or if they're selling. So we're really trying to beef up our process on every student that withdraws, exit interviews, those types of things, so we can really track where our students are going. Another thing that came up this year, I believe, from a community member was about our transfers. We do lose over 400 transfers to the military bases every single year. And so we've kind of put some things together that show that, just with state aid revenue, and this is the revenue we've never had, but basically the difference in revenue is about negative 2.1 million because we have more transfers going out than inter-district transfers coming in. So this year, that really made a difference with the less 200 students. I did notice I need to include the military DODEA grant, the $300,000 that we will receive every year, and I'll put that up in the federal revenue. And right now we've got our budgets out to our campuses and departments, and so our department's going out and meeting with each campus principal and their secretaries. We'll do the same with the departments when we finish up. And hopefully we'll have a calendar approved tonight, and we can start looking at 1%, 2%, 3% raises possibilities, and we'll start looking at staffing.
So appreciate you putting some extra information in here. And Dr. Gibson and I previously talked about the whole transfers in, transfers out topic. But just for the board's clarification, we had some questions raised by a citizen a few months ago about why it is that we allow our staff to have their children attend our schools even if they don't live in our district. And his question or implication was that that's nothing but a huge extra cost to our district. I know the financing formulas are fairly complicated, but arguably when we allow those students to come here, our actual total revenue is increased because of the additional students that we have.
Yes.
Right? And we may or may not have any incremental cost. It just depends on how many students we have and what campuses they're located at. And for the most part, I don't think our incremental cost is anywhere near what the actual increase in revenue is.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, we would agree with that. Yes.
So I just want to clarify that. I appreciate Dr. Gibson for actually taking the time with staff to put some of that information in there just to clarify it a little bit more.
So what we see, this was a good exercise for us, and we'll track this now annually. And you can see on page 23, the big number are parents that are living here, and we assume, and we'll track this down a little bit deeper, but they are coming here with elementary age students. We think taking their elementary age students to work at the base, but then their secondary students are going here for our extracurricular, or they're moving in so that their kids are here to be in the extracurricular. But these 455 are elementary students that are going with them to work, which we can't blame them, we don't blame them, it makes total sense. Now the kids are on base, so they're living here and they're driving, to Randolph, and their kids are in the school over there while they're at work, and then they pick them up after they go to work, and then they come back over here. That makes total sense. I appreciate Paige and the Beams department and others, putting these charts together just so we can get a snapshot, look at all of it, as that really helps a lot, I think.
We're also tracking the homeschool numbers. Those aren't reported out. We have access to all of this other information through our systems, our military, other public and private charters, but we're starting to actually, we've got the number that file, but if they just don't show up and they're nowhere else, we don't know where they are. So that's why we've kind of formed a little committee of myself and an elementary principal and an intermediate principal we need to start exit interviewing to see where kids are going at that level.
But, Mr. Chairman, one quick thing that Paige mentioned earlier that I think bears just reinforcing, if this session, they did change the rule on being able to acquire those 2 additional golden pennies without a tax ratification election, and which cost the state nothing. When the fiscal note to them is 0 on that, but they just allow us to go get it through the tax rate. And then if they increase the Austin yield from their end and reinvest the 1.5, and I know there's 3 big things, but there 2 of those 3 things are actually fiscally neutral for them. It's just the way they change the formula. So if they do 2, or if they do all 3 of those, it may be that we don't have to consider a tax ratification election.
And another thing is, next year, the Austin property values have gone so high that they just increase every single year. So in the formula, they go to $99 per WADA next year, and then $1.06 the following year. So that's even more revenue for those pennies.
If we were able to achieve those without a tax ratification election, that would be a really good thing.
Any further questions?
I'm sure I misunderstood it, I'm trying to understand it. When you're talking about transfers in and transfers out, if you take that 4 years, transfers in, it's right at 1,000 total for those 4 years. It's 900 and something. If you do the transfers out, it's right at 2583. It's about 1,500 difference. So it's over that 4 years, we've lost 1,500 students approximately. Is that correct? Out of transfer in, transferred out?
Well,
It's
they
probably
could
the
be
same
same
kids.
students. I mean, it could be a same student, a student at Randolph, say that's a kindergartner 1 year, a first grader the next year, second grader. You see what I'm saying? That's not a total amount of students, because some of students are same, transferring out.
Right.
And then the same thing for the kids coming in, not same.
I guess the question I have is, because we obviously have a lot of growth because we added an elementary school and portables. Is there a way, and I don't see it on here, to say we lost 446 in 2013, but we actually have, with new homes, we added 523.
Yeah, it's not in here, but we have that data, yes.
Just so, I guess for me, it doesn't have to be formal, but just we send it out because it said, hey, we lost 446 from transfers in, transfers out. But during 2013, we added 552 new students. So like, we can kind of just see the comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that, and that we have that data. We just haven't integrated those together. We just haven't integrated those charts together.
Just with this, it looks like we're in a deficit. We lost 1,500 students, but we actually probably gained more from new house construction.
No, there's no problem.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
So
Just
it
so I can
should
see.
show the increase per year, yeah.
Yeah, it would help me.
Yeah, that's a good point. So the net increase that we're projecting for next year, because we are looking at a lot of stuff here, there's pluses and minuses. The net increase is about 400 students, right? That's what but the end of all this.
Even with the transfers out.
With everything done, we have 400 more kids than we had.
If we have that.
Yeah, we did that. Believe me, we have that information. We'll put it in the board update.
For the private charter transfers out, have you collected that data for the last couple of years, and is it trending up or trending down?
We actually have, and we can provide this in a board report too, for all those years. If we have where they are, like if they are at Old PH, or, it lists out where they are, charter schools, so we can provide that.
I was just trying to get a trend up.
Yeah, I think that probably is trending up, and I think that's very common these days. One of my priorities that we're going to talk about later tonight is the consideration for a district charter school. And so that's kind of getting at that same, what needs do they feel, what freedom do they feel like they need, and start. We're going to need to start tracking that in order to figure that out.
Exactly.
For our own charter school, if we go that route.
And other public, what is other public?
That would be like Judson, Northeast, Northside.
Judson?
Well,
I get it, thank you.
East Central.
We're just talking about the district all around.
All right, any other questions? Let's, just for everybody's sake, we're gonna do one more item here, number 4. We do have a level 3 grievance hearing on the schedule for tonight. So after we do this next item, we're gonna go ahead and break into closed session to handle that grievance hearing. So I just want to let everybody know that. So let's go ahead and go over number 4 here, discussion, chapter 21 and non-chapter 21 personnel contracts. Ms. Cannon?
Yes, good evening. This is just to update you and let you know that we are starting to look at contract renewals for next year. In March, we will bring to you the administrators and professional contracts. In April, we will bring to you teachers, librarians, and registered nurses. And then in May, we will bring to you the probationary contracts.
Any questions on that? Okay, all right, thanks, Ms. Cannon. All right, at this time, we're gonna move down to action item D, closed session. At this time, we're going to go into closed session at 7:37 p.m. To hear a level 3 parent grievance. The board is going into closed session pursuant to several sections of the Texas Government Code, Chapter 551.082, for deliberation of a matter regarding a public school student, as well as 551.074. Deliberation on a complaint or charge against an officer or employee. And the board will go to closed session, so I'm going to ask that everyone remove themselves from the room. Dee Edstrom is going to stay in to start with, just to get the tape recording going, correct? The parents are here. I'm going to ask that everyone else go ahead and exit the room. Okay. We are now back on the record in open session. It is 9 p.m. The board had gone into closed session to hear a level 3 grievance appeal. Since it does deal with a student, I don't want to get into any of the details. I do want to go on the record to state that we did conduct the hearing with the grievance as well as the administration. And in accordance with the level 3 appeal notice paperwork, 2 specific requested remedies were requesting the acknowledgement of negligence on behalf of the district. Number 1 and number 2, change for better supervision. Based upon the level 3 appeal notice, do we have a motion by any trustee?
Mr. President, I move that the board take no formal action on the level 3 grievance that was heard this evening.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? We have a motion to take no formal action with respect to the requested remedies in the level 3 grievance appeal. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. Okay, so the motion passes 5-1. Having said that, I do want to let you guys know, very much appreciate you coming forward tonight to sharing the situation that took place and your thoughts and your concern not only for your children but also for the district as a whole. Superintendent was in on the hearing, heard everything that you had to say. We will be getting together with the superintendent. The board had a pretty healthy discussion about the whole topic. We will get together with the superintendent and essentially jointly direct him to take, whatever proactive and responsible steps that the administration needs to take moving forward to ensure that we do have safe and secure classrooms, especially for our special education students. And also going to ask that they do follow up with you in a reasonable manner to let you know what those steps are going to be. Okay.
For the layman, you're saying the board's not taking action, but the superintendent will be in some way, shape, or form. There's going to be a follow-up.
The board voted to not take any formal action with respect to those 2 requested remedies that I read off. Okay. But having said that, we are going to visit with the superintendent to direct him with his authority and discretion to make sure that we do provide safe and secure learning environments for our children. Okay. All right, so that includes the level 3 grievance hearing, and it's now 9:02 p.m. Does any board member want to take a short break?
Yes.
Okay, so very short break, so let's go ahead and reconvene at 9:10 p.m. No song or anything, we do want to acknowledge that I guess tonight is Mr. Rivera's birthday. Is that correct? So congratulations, Mr. Rivera.
Keep the birthdays coming.
Next item up for discussion is the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills Certification for 2017-2018, Ms. Jade.
Yes. Sorry. So the TEKS clarification form must be presented annually, and we're required to sign the form before it can be accepted by TEA. So the attached form is a sample, I believe it's on page 29. A sample is from 2016-2017 that indicates the instructional materials allotment funding complies with the following guidelines. That one, that the district's instructional materials allotment or IMA funds are used for expenses allowed by the Texas Education Code 31.0211. Two, that for the current school year, this district has instructional materials that collectively cover all elements of the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills of the required curriculum identified in Texas Education Code 28.002, other than physical education for each subject and grade level, which is TEC 31.004. And three, that upon request that our district will provide to the State Board of Education the title and publication information for any instructional materials requisitioned or purchased by our district with the district's IMA funds, which is Texas Education Code 31.101. The funding from the instructional materials allotment can be used for the purchase of instructional materials for 2017-2018 once the signed annual TEKS certification form has been received and accepted by TEA. And so for this month, it's just a discussion item only. And the form for the TEKS certification form for 2017-2018 will be presented for board approval and signatures at the March meeting.
Any question on that? All right. Moving on, next item is discussion of instructional materials under proclamation 2017. Ms. Jane?
So we've got this year, the following courses are up for adoption with Proclamation 2017. You can see all career and technology education courses, all languages other than English, algebraic reasoning and statistics. And you have an attached document with the process that our district has gone through to review all of the materials. The amount of $2,356,890 will be used to purchase the instructional materials, and no general operating funds are expected at this time. So this is again just discussion only, and the textbook selected by committee for adoption will be presented for board approval in March.
All right. Any questions or comments on this item?
Can I ask you a question, Ms. Trey? And I've asked this question in the past. These are textbooks that are up for adoption, or these are ones that have been approved by the state board to be purchased by school district?
Yes, they're on the approved vendor list.
Okay, they're already approved and they're for
Correct.
purchase, and that we don't have to purchase these books though.
Correct.
We can purchase other books if we find something we like better.
As
Is that
long
right?
as they cover all of the TEKS.
The TEKS, right, okay, all right. Thank you.
Mr. Westbrook?
The Spanish book, is that up under languages other than English?
Yes, sir.
I did tell a parent I would ask about, they asked me to ask you all about what would happen to, I guess, Spanish level 2, if you purchased a new book this year. Because I think it was, some parents felt that it would be best if Spanish level 2 finished out next year with that same Spanish book as opposed to going to a new book. What were the possibilities of using an old book for them and a new book for the, I guess, some of the lower grades?
The new book would have the TEKS for the Spanish too, so they both books would have should be covering the TEKS for that level of Spanish. So they would use the new ones.
They're going to have to use new ones no matter what. Okay.
And so those would be out of adoption there.
Were the TEKS for Spanish 2 changed?
No, they were not.
So they would still be included in the older book, then, correct?
They would be included in the old one.
So they could possibly use the older book while the lower grades use the newer book? Like for Spanish 1, there's a book for adoption for Spanish 1. I think that's what Mr. Westbrook is trying to
Yes, I
find
was
out.
trying to.
So if the TEKS haven't changed, then the textbook would be okay for use. It would- it
We'll
would
still have
qualify.
the same teaks.
Yeah, as long as they have the same TEKS. Okay. So I guess that would be the questions. If the TEKS haven't changed, are the TEKS included in the older book?
And then I guess a follow-on question, just for someone like me who doesn't know. If the TEKS haven't changed, why are we buying new books? What is the reason for it?
Because the state has put that they're up for adoption. I don't know the age of the old books that we have, but as part of Proclamation 2017, all the language books are up for adoption so that they're newer editions. With more, they still have the same text, but more up to date and more
Different processes and all.
resources. Yeah, they have additional resources, but relatability to the students as well.
As some of the spending.
And some of them may have some additional digital resources that were not with the for people of adoption.
They don't use Antonio, but Harris anymore.
Any further questions, comments? Okay, thanks, Mr. Chair. Next item up for discussion, solicitation for commissioning agent services, Mr. Rivera.
Hi, Mr. President, members of the board, and Dr. Gibson. We are preparing a solicitation for commissioning services. Commissioning services that we're targeting is for the HVAC system. Commissioning services can be as broad as the entire building envelope. We're just focusing on the HVAC system. This is something that has become a state requirement as of the fall of 2016, when the state of Texas adopted the International Electrical Conservation Code. So the states adopted it and cities are adopting it thereafter. So there is a different level of commissioning. We need this. Actually, it's a very good idea. We were thinking about the working ordinance to improve the HVAC systems in our new facilities and increase the effectiveness of those facilities and overall reduce the total cost of energy in the district. So this is an investment that will pay a return.
Again, just a discussion item tonight, so any questions or comments on that? All right, seeing none, moving on.
And way of action, then what, no action is required tonight, but what would the action be on this potential? We're issuing a solicitation. We'll bring back the qualifications. Actually, it's a bunch of qualifications we're putting out there because they're engineering services, so we want to evaluate those and bring those back to the board. It'll probably be April. Okay.
All right, next item on the agenda is solicitation for asphalt repair at Byron P. Steele High School. Mr. Rivera.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an EPP item. Solicitation is being prepared for the asphalt repair project, approximately 1,200 linear feet at the Steele High School campus. You've been on that road, we know that it doesn't need systems. A bid opening date has been selected for March 6th. We'll bring it back to the board, hopefully in March if we can turn around the evaluation in a timely manner.
Any questions? So let's move back in March.
Yes, sir, that's our plan.
And the previous one, I believe you said that would come back in April.
Yes, sir.
All right, next item on the agenda, reconveyance of water line easement to the city of Schertz. Mr. Rivera.
Yes, sir. We have a large project that's going to begin very soon. We've also already sent additional renovation on the group project. Upon examination and the preliminary planning, we realized that the new building will be actually going over an existing water line. And our engineer assigned to this project is working with the city of Schertz to agree on a repositioning of that water line. And once we have the position established, they'll provide us means and bounds description. We'll be bringing back a new easement for that water line once it's been moved. We'll vacate this easement and then we'll create a new easement with the city of Schertz.
What does it mean by get it out of the corner of the new gym into the proposed drive? What was the proposed drive?
The road alongside where the new building will be going up. Mr. Frisbee, you want to add to that?
The new auxiliary gym that will be added onto the side of Beard, there's a water easement that will cut it. The corner of the new auxiliary gym will sit on top of that water line. We have to get it out of there, so we're going to
which means, I mean, we're talking about a water line underneath the ultimate roadway that goes through there.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to cover that roadway in the meantime.
Yes.
But- So the exit over there will no longer exist for a while? or-
For a short time, it won't take long. Once we get moving on to that and move that water line over, it'll be a minimum impact. We'll probably do it over summertime.
We're going to have greater challenges.
If that's the biggest one, I'm gonna be very happy.
All right, everyone okay with that? All right, thanks, guys.
Will that be in March? That's kind of out of our control. We are applying pressure where we can with our engineer and the city insurance to try to help us turn that around. We don't want to wait too long on that because we anticipate making an award in April for general contract for this project. We'd like to have this included in that project.
So-
Water line replacement.
So the easement itself will come back in either March or April?
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure yet. All right, next item, number 10, solicitation for electronic access control replacement. Mr. Rivera?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is an unusual project in that it's funded from two different sources. Two of our campuses are going to be out of our 2006 bond funds that we didn't think we were actually going to end up recapturing from the city of Schertz due to the EDU replenishment from that sanitary sewer lift station over at Corbett Junior High. However, we are getting funds back, and that's being put into the projects that were in the 2006 bond. The other part, the other three campuses are going to be out of the BTP and our general operating fund. So this will be going out, and we plan on bringing that back in March as well for approval after our review.
Any questions? All right, so that's coming back in March?
Yes, sir.
All right. Next item, solicitation for bank depository services, Mr. Rivera.
Bank depository services is something we don't do every year. We could do them every 2 years, a 2-year contract. Now we have up to two-year extensions, so we're at the end of 6 years with Schertz Bank. And we need to go back out and solicit all the banks that exist, have a physical bank in our school district. We're sending invitations to each of those banks. I think there's about seven different banks. And inviting them to submit proposals. We anticipate those coming back in April to the actual report. All this has to be sorted out by June 15th. with TDA.
Questions on that? That may come back in March?
April.
April sometime. All right. Solicitation for Active Directory Modernization Services, Mr. Rivera.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. Working with our technology department, they've identified a need to update our Active Directory, which is really exciting. If you think about every device that you have in the school district, it's connected to the directory, just like the phone listings. Everybody's in the directory. This laptop, everything's connected. However, sometimes the wires get a little bit crossed, and we need some assistance in reorganizing as our district has grown over time. So this is going to help make our network uniform and create a more stable network environment for us, increase our security, if you will, on our network. Dr. Burkle want to add anything to that?
I'll just say that modernizing Active Directory was a recommendation in the technology assessment that we had a couple of years ago. So this is something that we really need to do, bring our Active Directory up to enterprise level of functionality.
Where's that gentleman when you need him? Critical question, right?
I want to know how the wires are getting crossed.
All right, any questions on that item? All right, and that's coming back in March or no?
That should be March.
March, okay. All right, next item, memorandum of understanding with the Texas Department of State Health Services, Mr. Rivera.
Working with Mr. Stein on this, we were approached by a representative from the state of Texas Department of Health Services. Every 5 years, they do a survey of Texas third graders, and they select at random certain school districts and certain campuses, and they've asked if they can come to Schertz. David believes that this is just another opportunity for them to assess the health of our students' teeth differences as far as how the state teams are doing in our state. Recently, I saw something on TV where they were actually doing this in the city of San Antonio recently. They actually got a ceiling, complimentary ceiling and a toothbrush, and they got a report back to the parent.
Do you know where they actually do this?
They do it on the campus. Is that where they do it? Yes, they do it on campus. So this won't be, this will be the 17-18 school year.
So when are we gonna do the merry-go-round, from what I understand?
They need that so they can put it on the schedule.
It'll be on next month's.
Yes, sir.
Anything further on that one? Matt, you just want to continue on with the remainder of the agenda since you've done a pretty good job?
Do that next. The goals.
I was thinking Michelle needed one more thing to do.
All right. We'll now leave Rivera's section and we'll go to the discussion of superintendent goals for 2017, 2018.
And actually, Matt will be involved in plenty of these. And so will Michelle and Damon and Tony, everybody, Linda, Wayne. These have in large part, in fact, I don't think there's been any modifications since last Tuesday night, but we just, per the board's discussion last Tuesday night, my appraiser, we're putting these out here in draft format and discussion on tonight, and we'll see if you have any questions for the next 30 days, and I guess potentially bring them back for action next month.
Further comment on that one? Number 15, board's consideration consensus on discussion items eligible for action under consent agenda. So, yeah, these are all discussion items. The ones that will be moved up for action at supposed to be a March board meeting. We items number 5, 6, number 8, 10, 12, and 13. Again, so if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask Dr. Gibson. Otherwise, we'll have those back. We'll put them on the consent agenda. You can always feel free to request that those be pulled for individual discussion. Otherwise, we'll vote on those as a whole. Anything else on that?
Gary, Mr. President, the number 9 may come back, the water line. Sure. Is that correct? The reconveyance of the water line may make it back. And then, do you all want me to put my goals in consent, or do we want to have them on action?
Let's go ahead and include that in the consent agenda. Okay. All right. We're okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Having said that, the consent agenda, section B. Does anyone have any particular item they would wish to pull for specific discussion? No. Seeing none, we have a motion on the consent agenda.
I move the Board of Trustees approve consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed? Same sign. Okay, motion passes 6-0. Okay. All right, action items. Number 1, request for board approval, 2017-2018 school year calendar.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President, trustees. And last month, we had reported that after receiving some feedback from some parents and administrators, that at the last district improvement committee meeting, there either was 0 or very little parent representation there. We held a special parent meeting. I think that's what I reported at the last meeting. We did have 23 parents show up, which is great, and it was a good meeting conducted here in the building. And just it was an interesting, it was a very fruitful discussion, very productive, very, I guess, collaborative and engaging. It was just interesting to me at the end of it, we basically had about a 50-50 split of which calendar they wanted. So I think we lined up 1,000 people, and we were going to get 500 on one side, 500 on the other, almost every time. And that came down to the vote also. We usually try to reach consensus, and this year, just because of where Christmas Day fell and where New Year's Day fell, it really just, I guess, created some tougher decision points than maybe normal. I guess this is normal because this is the calendar, but that we've had in the last few years. After the final vote, with the parents present and the parents having an opportunity to speak and be involved in the decision, we did a re-vote. I think it's those little dots actually on the back of it. We didn't take a piece of paper down, so it's
looks 50-50 to me.
But it's pretty close. We thought, wow, this is going to come down to a coin toss or goat rope or arm wrestling or something. I don't know. But B, I think, wound up with 21 votes, and A wound up with 16 votes. And so we are proposing calendar B. One of the things that we talked about that just makes it a little bit interesting is that we'll actually be taking that first week in January off because of, again, where the first fell. Other than that, they're pretty similar. That's the primary difference. I'll remind everybody that we're looking at District of Innovation next year. It is one of my goals. So we'll consider getting off of the mandatory start date or the Slitterbond rule, or the Slitterbond law, that, you know, we start that last week in August.
All right, so draft B is the recommendation?
Yes, it is.
And I guess the magic question always is, I mean, do we know what other districts are doing?
Yeah, this reflects Northeast and North Side, and they went through, if I understand, a very similar process to us. You know, it's a lot of split discussion. We've historically tried to stay consistent with them, and I thought maybe this year we weren't going to, you know, just because of that. But, you know, again, they're very close votes every single time that the B came out on top, which will be more consistent with North and East.
I think just so the board understands, and Dr. Gibson and I talked about this, you want to share with them the discussion we had about the, I guess what I call a standard possession order in child custody?
Yeah, we brought that up at the DIC meeting also, because that was good learning for me. I didn't fully understand that, and I think they were saying, Michelle, you were there, that was B the one that was more conducive to the joint custody?
I believe it was, yeah, because it depends on the date over that break when parents change custody.
It may have been A, I can't remember, but it's just an interesting discussion, and we're not, brought up that reasonable people should be able to, resolve this, and I kind of got laughed at.
No comment.
Yeah, there were a lot of chuckles in the room, like, how's the weather in Pollyanna?
Yeah, just for the board's understanding, I mean, standard possession order typically provides one parent with custody and possession of the children, basically when school gets out through, the day after Christmas or whatnot, and then the other parent will get them that day through the end of the Christmas break. And so sometimes one parent or the other gets more time. But as Dr. Gibson's saying, reasonable parents can just work it out. Right? So, good luck to them.
I think if we get it out soon, which hopefully we will, then it'll at least get them more than a year to try to resolve.
Right.
Not more than a year, but nearly a year to try to resolve.
You'll give it a year to find the
Attorney, Employment Act, right? All right, so draft B is the recommendation from the administration.
Yes.
Do we have any further comment or discussion?
Well, I just throw my, 2 cents in, with the discussion related to the parental issues that, I dealt with that, and it's trying to find someone reasonable in that discussion is not going to happen. But the only other thing is side note is that, when I was working, we would call, typically we'd have 3 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas break. And there would be a name we call that 3 weeks from throw in whatever you want to throw in. With calendar B, it's going to be 4 weeks. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough.
We teach harder these days.
Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody I know likes calendar, right?
Well, we follow the process.
I hear you.
All right. We have a motion on this item?
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the 2017-2018 school year calendar draft B as presented.
We have a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion, comments? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign? Okay, motion passes 5-1. Next item on the agenda, request for board action. Board resolution concerning the A through F accountability rating system for Texas public schools, and just draw your attention, that's on agenda page 9.
Yeah, it's the same that we looked at last month. One addition was the very last whereas, per the board's request, we added whereas we believe that Church-Civil Universal City Independent School District will likely receive quote-unquote good ratings under A through F. We still disagree with the overall premise. So we inserted that and localized that for ourselves. Okay, any
again, just so you guys know, this is kind of a statewide resolution that plenty of districts are signing off on, but at least to show that we're just not signing somebody else's form. I mean, even though we've got fairly good ratings, we still don't necessarily agree with the overall premise. And can you give us a little bit of, update on where does this whole evaluation system stand? There's been a lot of discussion in the legislature.
Yeah, I think, by this month, over 700 school districts will have passed resolutions similar to this one. What we're hearing from the Senate Chair of Public Education is it ain't going anywhere, so get ready to live with it. What we're hearing from the Commissioner is a lot of quietness right now. I think he got lit up pretty heavily at midwinter, and all of a sudden got really quiet. He usually goes over his time. He was under his time about 45 minutes, which I thought was just kind of true, the telltale sign that I think he was in listening mode, not in speaking mode, because he was just hearing a lot of feedback. He's in a pretty precarious situation because he has been charged with implementing a law. So it is a law, but he does have to implement it. Some disagree, some experts disagree. They say that it's his baby, and it has been all the way from the beginning. For him to act like he's being forced into implementing it is ludicrous. That's how he got the job as commissioner, because he said, I can make this happen. I'm smart enough to make this happen. Others, kind of take the, I feel sorry for him tack. So I say all that to say it's just up in the air and it's just a big old mess. And we're just going to have to see what sticks once they throw it all against the wall.
Dee, we need to sign these tonight?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we have any further discussion on that? Do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I move the Board of Trustees approve the resolution concerning the A through F accountability rating system for the Texas Public Schools as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes unanimously. All right, at this time, the board's going to go into closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code sections 551.074 and 551.072 discussion pertaining to employment of a campus principal for Watts Elementary, discussion pertaining to employment of athletic coordinator, head football coach at Byron P. Steele High School, discussion pertaining to other employment of contractual personnel, and discussion pertaining to the extension of the superintendent's contract. So, we're now going to reconvene or go into closed session 9:37 p.m. and we were going to go to the superintendent's office, take it, and we will come out as soon as closed session is completed. All right. Session, and before we're going further, I don't think you heard last time, but Mr. Linhoff, we appreciate you. Welcome you to the world of board service and being here until 10:30 at night. All right.
I would say it's not always like this, but it's always like this.
From here on out, right? Okay, just had closed session, discussed a few items solely related to those issues on the agenda. We now have several action items consistent with what we discussed in closed session. First item is request for board action, employment of a campus principal for Watts Elementary. Ms. Cannon, anything to add?
No.
Okay. Do we have a motion from the board?
I move that the Board of Trustees approve the employment of campus principal for Watts Elementary School for the 2016-2017 school year as approved in the closed session. Presented in the closed session.
Okay. Do we have a second? Second. Yeah, motion and second. Any further discussion or comments? All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. The motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Next item, request for board action, employment of athletic coordinator, head football coach for Byron P. Steele High School. Ms. Cannon, anything else? Do we have a motion on that item?
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the employment of the athletic coordinator, head football coach for the 2016-2017 school year as discussed in closed session.
Second. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, that motion also passes unanimously. Congratulations to two of those folks that we discussed in closed session. They will shortly know who they are. Next item, request for board action, employment of other contractual personnel. Ms. Cannon?
Mr. President, I move that the Board of Trustees approve the employment list as presented of contractual personnel for the 2016-2017 school year.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign. The motion also passes unanimously. Last action item is consideration of extension of the superintendent's contract. We have a motion on that.
Y'all are on a roll of you now.
Mr. President, I recommend the Board of Trustees consider and take action on the revision and extension of the superintendent's contract
Just set the period.
through 2021.
Second. Just modify it, so if I hear your motion correctly, is to extend the superintendent's contract by a period of 1 year? Right. Correct? Okay. We have a second? Okay, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Any opposed, same sign? Anybody? Okay. Motion passes unanimously, 6-0. Congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it.
All right. Okay, last item, board item for review and discussion. Master calendar, everything coming up. Mr. Pupito?
Yeah, I'm still writing stuff.
Yeah, I know there's the Winter Governance Conference in Corpus Christi here in a few weeks. Do we have anybody registered for that, Dee?
No, sir.
Nobody at all? Okay. I assume registration is still open if someone would like to go, but I think that's the first weekend in March, something like that. Anything else coming up? I think,
Let me talk about the March board meeting. We have our normal monthly items on the board agenda. This is for meeting March 21st. We have I think what are annual items, which would be the Chapter 21, non-Chapter 21 personnel contracts for administrators professionals, 2017-2018, TASB salary stipend study, instructional materials allotment, 2017-2018 budget parameter memo, and SCUCISD procurement department resolutions. We also have other items with conduct election for ESC Region 20 board directors, if needed, legislative update report, and the superintendent goals for 2017-2018. And trying to get the meeting.
in the meantime, clarification, are we meeting up here next Tuesday to go to Austin?
Yeah,
Is there a time on that?
there's not a time yet. Again, we've had a little shortage of staff due to flu, but we'll get that out tomorrow.
I am not getting the calendar to come up for some reason.
Anybody have any other calendar type items that will occur over the next month or so?
Sorry, I cannot.
It's not an item, an item that we might want to look at more cookies for some of these guys. On the nights when we have like 300 kids over here because I don't even think we're taking care of the half of the kids that are out there. Okay. Just kind of joking, but.
All right, anything further? All right, with that, I guess we stand adjourned at 10:31 p.m.